the same group, we never describe who the receiver may be, as we feel that it is the information that is important rather than the person who is transmitting. According to an entity called Hayton, who has spoken with our group and several others for many years, the purpose in being here of at least some of the UFOs that are seen in our skies at this time is much like the purpose that we might have in sending aid to a disaster-stricken or extremely impoverished country. It is a desire to be of service. We have been contacting people of planet Earth for many, many of your years. We have been contacting at intervals of thousands of years those who sought our aid. It is time for many of the people of this planet to be contacted, for many now have the understanding and the desire to seek something outside the physical illusion that has for so many years involved the thinking of those of this planet. The process we are stimulating is one which is self-generating. As more and more of those who desire our contact receive it and pass it on to others, then those who receive this passed on information will then themselves be able to reach a state of thinking and understanding sufficiently in tune, shall I say, with our vibrations in order to receive our contact. For this, my friends, is how contacts work. It is first necessary, if the entity is to be able to receive our contact, for him to become of a certain vibration, as a result of his thinking. This is greatly speeded by involvement in groups such as this. And then it is finally done through meditation. In other words, the verbal communications given to the entity by the channels such as this one create a system of thought and a desire for spiritual awareness that raises his vibration. We of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator are very sorry that we cannot step upon your soil and teach those of your people who desire our service. But, my friends, as we have said before, this would be a very great disservice to those who do not desire our service at this time, and we are afraid we would have little effect in bringing understanding even to those who desire it, for understanding, my friends, comes from within. We can only guide. We can only suggest. We are attempting to do this in such a way that the seeking of the individual will be stimulated to turning his thinking inward to that single source of love and understanding, the Creator, that is part of us all, part of everything that exists, for everything that exists, my friends, is the Creator. We are very privileged to have you join with us in this great service at this time in the history of your planet. For this is a very great time, a great transitional period, in which many of the Earth's people will be raised from their state of confusion to a simple understanding, the love of their Creator. Hayden speaks of our desire to seek something outside the physical illusion. What he talks about so persuasively is something that is often referred to by members of what RA calls the Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator as the original thought. This is another term for our word, love, but implies a great deal more. It implies a unity that is so great that we do not see each other simply as close friends, or brothers and sisters, but, ideally, as the Creator, and, as we see each other and ourselves as the Creator, we see one being. This concept is at the very heart of telepathy, and Hayton talks about this concept and the original thought in general. At this time I am in a craft far above your place of dwelling. I am at this time able to monitor your thoughts. This, my friends, might seem to some of your peoples to be an infringement, but I can assure you that it is not. Our capabilities of knowing the thinking of the peoples of this planet Earth are not designed in any way to infringe upon either their thinking or their activities. We do not consider the knowledge of the thoughts of others to be an infringement, for we see these thoughts as our own. We see these thoughts as the thoughts of the Creator. My friends, it may seem to you that a thought of a nature other than one of love and brotherhood might be a thought generated not of our Creator. This is not possible, my friends. All thought that is generated by the Creator. All things that are generated by the Creator. He is all things and is in all places, and all of the consciousness and all of the thought that exists is the thought of our Creator. His infinite number of parts all have free will, and all may generate in any way they choose. All of his parts communicate with all of the creation, in his entire and infinite sense. We are not attempting to change the thinking of our Creator. We are only attempting to bring his ideas to some of the more isolated parts for their inspection and appraisal. Isolated parts, I say, my friends, and why should we consider these parts to be isolated? We consider them isolated because from our point of view they have chosen to wander far from the concept that we have found to permeate most of the parts of the creation with which we are familiar. We find, my friends, that man upon planet Earth in his experiences and experiments has become isolated in his thinking and has divorced it from that to which we are accustomed in the vast reaches of creation which we have experienced. I urge you, my friends, to remember what we have brought to you. The next time that you are, shall we say, backed into a corner by the circumstances which prevail within the illusion of your physical existence, remember what you have learned and do not forget what you have worked so hard to obtain. You will choose at any time to alter your needs and desires from within the physical illusion to your being within the creation of the Father. As long as your objectives lie within this physical illusion, it will be necessary for you to be subject to the laws which prevail within this illusion. If your desires can be altered by the application of what you are learning and are lifted in the creation of the Infinite One, then, my friends, you may have a great deal more ability to remove yourself from the corners into which the illusion seems to back you. To some who may read these words, the concepts may seem to be a less than practical and certainly overly idealistic method of discussing what many have called the New Age or the Age of Aquarius. It certainly seems unlikely that an entire planet could go so wrong philosophically, and that beings supposedly more advanced than we would care enough about us to attempt to help us. However, as we look for the heart of the cosmic system of philosophy, we find much that is clear and simple without being simplistic in the least, much that is ethical without being dogmatic, in short, much that is informative. Here Hayton speaks of the nature of reality, which, in the main, seems to have escaped the notice of Earthman. My friends, man on Earth has become very short-sighted in appreciation of the creation. He does not understand the true meaning of the simple and beautiful life that surrounds him. He does not appreciate its generation and regeneration. He learns that the very atmosphere that he breathes is cycled through the plant life to be regenerated to support him and his fellow beings and creatures, and yet this seems to the vast majority of those who dwell upon this planet to be an exercise in technology rather than one in theology. There is no awareness of the Creator's plan to provide for his children, to provide for their every desire and to provide a state of perfection. Man on Earth has lost the awareness that is rightfully his. And why, my friends, has he lost this awareness? He has lost this because he has focused his attention upon devices and inventions of his own. He has become hypnotized by his playthings and his ideas. He is but a child in his mind. All of this may be very simply remedied, and man can once more return to an appreciation of reality rather than an appreciation of the illusion created by his mind. All that is necessary, my friends, is that he individually avail himself to this appreciation of reality through the process of meditation, for this process stills his active conscious mind, which is continually seeking stimulus within the illusion developed over so many centuries of time upon planet Earth. Very rapidly, then, he can return to an appreciation of the reality and the functioning of the real creation. This, my friends, is what man of Earth must return to if he is to know reality, this simple thought of absolute love, a thought of total unity with all his brothers regardless of how they might express themselves or whom they might be, for this is the original thought of your Creator. The creation of the Father, then, as Hayton calls it, has a very simple nature, a nature in which love is the essence of all things and of all their functions. Yet this real creation obviously is not uppermost in most of our minds because we live in a day-to-day atmosphere to which the Confederation has referred quite often as an illusion. We of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the infinite Creator have been, for many of your years, aware of many principles of reality. We are aware of these principles because we have availed ourselves to them just as the people of your planet may do. It is possible through meditation to totally reduce the illusion that you now experience that creates the separation and illusory separation to what it actually is, a total illusion. We have been continuing to speak to you about meditation. We have spoken to you many times about reality and about love and about understanding, and yet you do not seem to be able to overcome the illusion. The reason for the illusion, my friends, is one that man on Earth has generated. He has generated it out of desire. This illusion is useful. It is very useful for those who would wish to evolve at a very rapid rate by experiencing it and by using it while within it. Many of us who are now circling your planet would desire to have the opportunity that you have, the opportunity to be within the illusion and then, through the generation of understanding, use the potentials of the illusion. This is a way of gaining progress spiritually and has been sought out by many of our brothers. I cannot overemphasize the necessity of becoming able to understand the nature of the potentials within your illusion and then, by self-analysis and meditation, reacting to that in a way that will express the thought that generated us, the thought of our Creator. This was done by the teacher whom you know as Jesus. This man recognized his position. He recognized the illusion. He understood the reason for the potentials within the illusion, and his reaction to these potentials and activities within the illusion was a reaction which was expressing the thought of the Creator, a thought of love. Keep uppermost in your mind that the illusion that you experience is an illusion, that it is surrounding you for the purpose of teaching you. It can only teach you if you become aware of its teachings. It is said that He worked His wonders in mysterious ways. This way may seem mysterious, however, it is the way of spiritual evolvement. There are many souls experiencing the illusion in which you find yourself, however, there are few using this illusion to grow. They are not doing this other than at a subliminal level because they have not availed themselves through their seeking to a knowledge of the possibility of doing this. Once an individual has become aware of the possibility of using the illusion in which he finds himself in your physical world for the progression of spiritual growth, it is necessary that he take the next step and use his knowledge to express, regardless of the potentials which affect him, the love and understanding of his Creator. As you have by now become aware, meditation is always suggested as the best means of attaining understanding, of progressing spiritually, and of understanding the nature of the illusion and the purpose for which you are experiencing it. Each person is involved in an illusion or game in which we may, if we wish, use our consciousness in meditation in such a way as to create a more rapid growth in personal evolution. But how do we bring ourselves to the point at which this process, which often seems very difficult, is grasped and begun? Desire, my friends, is the key to what you receive. If you desire it, you shall receive it. This was the Creator's plan, a plan in which all of His parts would receive exactly what they desire. My friends, often in the illusion which you now experience it seems that you do not acquire what you desire. In fact, the opposite seems to be the case in many, many instances. It is a paradox, it seems, that such a statement should be made and that such apparent results of desire are manifested, and yet we state, without exception, that man receives exactly what he desires. Perhaps, my friends, you do not understand desire. Perhaps this understanding is not within the intellectual mind. Perhaps it will be necessary to spend time in meditation to become aware of your real desire. For, my friends, there is much, much more of you and of the creation than you presently appreciate with your intellectual abilities in your present illusion. It is very difficult for the peoples of this planet to give up their illusion, to give up the preconceived knowledge of what they believe to be cause and effect. However, this is not reality. This is illusion, born of illusion. It is a simple product of the complexity that man upon this planet has generated. Join with us in divorcing your thinking from such complexities and become aware of what has created you, everything that you experience, and everything that is thought. Become aware of your Creator. Become aware of His desire, and when you know this desire you will know your own, for you and your Creator are one, and you are one with all of His parts and, therefore, all of your fellow beings throughout all of the creation. When you know His desire you will feel it. There will be no more confusion. There will be no more questions. You will have found what you have sought. You will have found love. For this is the desire of your Creator, that all of His parts express and experience the love that created you. This may be found simply in meditation. No amount of seeking within the intellectual concepts of your people, no amount of careful planning or careful interpretation of the written or spoken word will lead you to the simple truth. The Confederation Messages concentrate a great deal upon the concept of seeking and of desire, feeling that the will of each entity is absolutely central to each entity's quest for evolution. In fact, they say, free will is at the foundation of the universe. Each entity is conceived not only as being part of one unity but also as being a totally unique part of that unity. Each person's free will is quite paramount, and the Confederation's concern is always to avoid infringement upon the free will of any person. Their method of contacting man on earth takes its form from a deep concern for this free will. We do not wish to impose our understanding of truth upon your peoples, and this would be something that we would do if we contacted them directly. We could not help it, for our very utterance of truth would be accepted by many of your peoples as being valid. We do not wish to be thought of as the ultimate representatives of the Creator's truth. We wish to give this to your peoples in such a way so that they may accept or reject this at their own will. This, as we understand it, is a necessary provision in the spiritual evolvement of all mankind, that he be, at some state of his evolution, in a position to accept or reject what is necessary for his evolution. In this way, and only in this way, can he know the truth of the Creator, that single truth that is the creation, the truth of the love of the creation. It must be realized from within. It cannot be impressed from without. We are attempting to stimulate those of your peoples who would be stimulated to seeking this truth that is within them. We have been required by our understanding of our Creator's principle to remain in hiding, for we cannot serve one individual and at the same time do a disservice to his neighbor by proving within his own mind that we exist, for many of those of planet Earth at this time do not desire to believe in or have proof of our existence. For this reason we find it necessary to speak to those who seek through channels such as this one. We find it necessary to give to those who seek that which they seek in such a way that they, for themselves, may appraise its value and accept or reject, on their own terms, those thoughts that we bring, and understand the reality of the creation in which all of us exist. Once the desire to receive this message has been developed, the messages are indeed available, not just from our group, but from many so-called contactee or channeling groups around the world. Indeed, you will find little new in the cosmic system of philosophy. Those concepts are basic, profound, and simple. The Confederation has a name for one of the great goals of this system of meditation and study, understanding. To those who seek, we offer our understanding. We do not attempt to say that we have ultimate wisdom. We only suggest that that which we have to offer may be of value, for we have found, in our experience, as we have passed through the same experiences as those of Earth, that there is a most beneficial direction in seeking to serve. We are acting through instruments such as those here tonight to give to those who seek an understanding. Our presence is meant to stimulate seeking. Through this process, we hope to contact as many of the peoples of your planet as would desire our contact. We hope in the very near future to be able to contact many more of the peoples of your planet, the peoples who would desire understanding. It is difficult to contact those people of your planet because of this, shall I say, mixture of types, but it is well worth our effort if we are able to contact but one. We will continue to act as we do now, speaking through instruments such as this one, until a sufficient number of the peoples of your planet have become aware of truth. We are constantly striving to bring, through many channels of communication, the simple message to the peoples of Earth, the simple message that will leave them with a simple understanding of all that there is, and that is love. But that understanding which shows us the love of an infinite Creator, is again and again described as being possible far more easily through the processes of meditation than by any other method. There are pieces of information that are of importance, and there are pieces of information that are not. Wisdom is a rather lonely matter, my friends. You must accept this truth as you acquire the burden of wisdom. That which you know, you are to be careful of, for what you know in the real creation has power, and that which you desire is all of the direction which that power will be aimed at, but have faith, my friends, in what you know and what you are learning. Feed your faith and your understanding through meditation. The further that you go along this path, my friends, the more meaningful you will find this simple statement, meditate. It begins as a simple process and, little by little, it becomes a way in which you live. Observe it as you progress along your own spiritual path. It is frequently suggested in contactee messages that the state of mind of the seeker has the opportunity of being continuously in a far more pleasant configuration than is the mind of one who is not actively engaged in pursuing a path of self-knowledge and seeking. However, there are other fruits of the path of meditation and seeking which are predictable and which engage the attention of those who channel these messages. It is to be remembered, my friends, that service to others is service to oneself. Notice that we do not say that service is like unto service to oneself. There is no similarity between others and ourselves. There is identity. There is completion and unity. Therefore, that which is felt of a negative nature towards a sheep of the flock is felt towards oneself and is felt toward the Creator. This enters the service which you attempt to give to yourself and to the Creator through service to another and causes a blot or a stain upon the perfect service you would have performed. It must be remembered that each person is a completely free entity whose independence must in no way be shaken and yet whose identity remains one with you. There is only one thing of great importance for you to consider at this time. That is your personal preparation for service. You are to serve your fellow man, and, therefore, it is necessary that you prepare yourselves for this service. This, of course, my friends, is done in meditation. We cannot overemphasize the importance of meditation. Through this technique you will receive answers to all of your questions. It is difficult to realize this, but this is true. All of your questions can be reduced to an extremely simple concept. This you can become aware of in meditation. Once this has been done, you will be ready to serve, just as others have served and are now serving upon your planet. Follow their example, spend time in meditation. Qualify yourself to reach out to your fellow man and lead him from the darkness of confusion that he is experiencing back into the light that he desires. One service which the Confederation sources greatly appreciate is that provided by vocal channels which are trained in groups such as the one which we have had in Louisville since 1962. They never suggest in any way that their message is unique or that salvation can only be gained by listening to that message. However, they are aware that there are many who seek that message through sources other than Orthodox religion and classical philosophy. Consequently, they are here to provide a service of making information available and can only perform their service through vocal channels. 1. This symbol indicates the separation between a quotation from one transcript and a quotation upon the same subject from another transcript. There are more people upon this planet seeking than there have been in the past. However, many are quite confused in their attempts to seek, and there is a need at this time for many more channels such as this one who can receive directly the thoughts that so many of the people of this planet are seeking. We are attempting at this time to generate greater numbers of proficient vocal channels who can receive our thoughts quite readily. This requires daily meditation. This is all that is required, daily meditation. It is assumed, of course, that as this daily meditation is performed, there is a desire for our contact. As one who has participated in meditation groups for many years, may I suggest that individual meditations not include the attempt to contact Confederation sources. It is best to pursue this attempt only in a group situation, preferably a group which contains at least one experienced receiver. And always, whether meditating alone or in a group, I strongly recommend some means of tuning so that the meditation which follows will be at the highest spiritual level possible. This tuning can be accomplished in any way preferable to the meditator. The Lord's Prayer, Aum-ing, or other singing or chanting, the reading of some inspirational writing, or a careful visualization of the white light of the Creator, are all useful tuning methods. Reincarnation is very basic to the Confederation message. One of the most highly regarded fruits of the meditation and seeking process is the ability of the seeker to penetrate what R.A. calls the forgetting process, which occurs at the time of our birth into this incarnation so that we might become aware of the lessons which we have to learn during this incarnation. These lessons are always along the lines of how to love better, more fully, more deeply, or with more kindness and understanding. However, each entity has unique lessons. At the time at which each of you incarnated, my friends, each of you was aware that certain lessons, hitherto unlearned, were to be the goals for achievement in this incarnation. If it seems to you that your entire incarnation within this illusion has been a series of difficulties of one particular type, then you are almost certainly aware in some manner of one of your lessons. As you can see, these lessons are not to be avoided. They are to be learned. Further, we must point out to you that when a confrontation in such a lesson has been achieved, that which separates you from understanding is most often your own thinking. Your conscious thinking processes are quite capable of being self-destructive in the sense that they may aid you to avoid the lesson that you wish in reality to learn. Therefore, as you approach a lesson, we suggest that if it is possible to achieve a temporary abeyance of the conscious, analytical processes, then you may return to the problem with a much clearer mentality, ready to learn what you came to this experience to learn, rather than only to avoid what you came to learn. We know how difficult it is to achieve the meditative state at all times, for we have been where you are and we are aware of that particular type of illusion that you call physical. We urge you, therefore, to depend on meditation of a formal kind, then to attempt a semi-meditative state at all times, and, by this, we mean simply to achieve a state of attention so that your destructive impulses are not free to clog your mind completely and keep you from learning the lessons you came to learn. Undergirding all of the lessons that we have to learn about love is the basic concept that all things are one. Meditate upon the complete unity of yourself and all that you see. Do this not once, and not simply in present circumstances, but at all times, and especially in difficult circumstances. For insofar as you love and feel at one with those things which are difficult for you, to that extent will those circumstances be alleviated. This is not due to any laws within our physical illusion, but is due to the law of love, for that body which is of spirit, which is interpenetrated with the physical body, is higher than your physical body, and those changes which you make by love upon your spiritual body will, of necessity, reflect themselves within the physical illusion. All is one, my friends. My voice is now the voice of this instrument, my thoughts are her thoughts. Please believe that the vibration we offer to you is not a vibration of personality, but is a vibration of the Creator. We are also channels. There is only one voice. Within this vibration, we are self-consciously aware that this voice is the voice of the Creator. It is simply a matter of lifting vibrations which are not so self-aware of the Creator. All things will eventually come into harmony in relation to your understanding. Even if the universe for those around you remains disharmonious and difficult, if your mind is stayed upon the unity of the Creator, your own universe will become harmonious, and this is not by your doing but by the simple love of the Creator. From many sources we have heard that we are in the last days of a particular era of evolution. Popular writers of the Christian faith have taken the writings of the Book of Revelations and analyzed them in such a way that it is suggested that the days of Armageddon are near at hand. Scientists have written many books exploring the possibility that unusual planetary configurations such as the Jupiter effect will occur now and in the year 2000, thus enlarging the possibility for Earth changes. Other scientists have examined much evidence indicating that a polar shift by the year 2000 is probable. Prophets such as Edgar Cayce have channeled information having to do with such drastic changes occurring, and in addition, of course, there are many concerns having strictly to do with the man-made potential for planetary devastation. We also have gathered information in our meetings on the subject of Earth changes. There is a season upon your planet which shall be highly traumatic within your physical illusion. The physical reasons for this are varied. Your scientists will spend a great deal of time, while they can, in attempting to catalog and describe each of the conditions which will produce disaster on this physical plane of your planet. That which your scientists speak of is quite so, and will be part of the program which has been predicted by all of those holy works which you have upon the face of the earth. It is not either permissible or possible for us to tell you precisely what events will occur, or when they will occur, due to the fact that the vibration within the mind and heart of the peoples upon your planet is determining and will determine the precise events. There is within the planet Earth a great deal of karma which must be adjusted as the cycle changes, and these things will manifest. Precisely when and how, we cannot say, nor would we wish to, my friends. For the rain, and the wind, and fire, will destroy only those things which are in what you call the third density of vibration. You may value those things because you cannot imagine what a fourth density existence will be like. We suggest to you that you spend no time concerning yourselves with the effort of maintaining your third density existence after the vibration change to fourth density has been completed. If within your spirit, your graduation day has come, those things necessary for your emergence into fourth density will be done for you. All will be accomplished by helpers which you must be aware that you have. It is extremely possible that damage will occur to those things which you identify with yourself in the third density. If we may speak plainly, you will observe the valley of the shadow of death. These very words, my friends, have been spoken to you before, and yet you cling to that physical body and those physical surroundings as though your spirit were attached quite permanently to them. May we suggest to you that you can find your spirit neither in your head, nor in your hands, nor in your chest, nor in your legs, nor in your feet, that nowhere can you find your spirit, nowhere can you operate to remove it, nor to aid it. Your spirit resides within a shell. The shell may be removed, but that is no matter. The spirit does not perish. What is the metaphysical meaning of this suggested physical trauma of our planet? The Confederation suggests that the planet itself is moving into a new vibration, a new portion of space and time, which many have called the New Age, but into which we shall not be able to enter unless we have indeed learned the lessons of love which it has been our choice to learn or not to learn for many incarnations. Therefore, the Confederation suggests that it is very important to choose to follow the positive path or not to follow it. There is a choice to be made very shortly, and it would be preferable if all of the people of this planet understand the choice that is to be made. It will be difficult for many of the people of this planet to understand what this choice is, because it is a choice that they have not considered. They have been much too involved in their daily activities and their confusion and their desires of a very trivial nature to be concerned with an understanding of the choice that they are very shortly to make. Whether they wish to or not, whether they understand it or not, regardless of any influence, each and every one of the people who dwell upon planet Earth will shortly make a choice. There will be no middle area. There will be those who choose to follow the path of love and light and those who choose otherwise. This choice will not be made by saying, I choose the path of love and light, or I do not choose it. The verbal choice will mean nothing. This choice will be measured by the individual's demonstration of his choice. This demonstration will be very easy for us of the Confederation of Planets in his service to interpret. This choice is measured by what we term the vibratory rate of the individual. It is necessary, if an individual is to join those who make the choice of love and understanding, for his rate of vibration to be above a certain minimal level. There are many now that are close to this minimum level, but due to continuing conditions of erroneous thought that prevail upon your surface, they are either fluctuating around this point or are even in some cases drifting away from the path of love and understanding. There are many whose vibratory rate at this time is sufficiently high for them to travel with no difficulty into the density of vibration that this planet is shortly to experience. At some time in the future, then, something that the Confederation has called the harvest will take place. This concept of the judgment day differs from the eschatological one in that the one who judges us is not a God apart from us, but the God within us. As a result of this harvest, some will go on to a new age of love and light and will learn new lessons in a very positive and beautiful density, as the Confederation calls it. Others will have to repeat this particular grade of lessons and relearn the lessons of love. Here the Confederation entity, Hayton, speaks once again of the harvest and of the Confederation's purpose in speaking through contactee groups. There is going to be a harvest, as you might call it, a harvest of souls that will shortly occur upon your planet. We are attempting to extract the greatest possible harvest from this planet. This is our mission, for we are the harvesters. In order to be most efficient, we are attempting to create first a state of seeking among the people of this planet who desire to seek. This would be those who are close to the acceptable level of vibration. Those above this level are of course not of as great an interest to us since they have, you might say, already made the grade. Those far below this level, unfortunately, cannot be helped by us at this time. We are attempting at this time to increase by a relatively small percentage the number who will be harvested into the path of love and understanding. Even a small percentage of those who dwell upon your planet is a vast number, and this is our mission, to act through groups such as this one in order to disseminate information in such a fashion that it may be accepted or rejected, that it may be in a state lacking what the people of your planet choose to call proof. We offer them no concrete proof, as they have a way of expressing it. We offer them truth. This is an important function of our mission, to offer truth without proof. In this way, the motivation will, in each and every case, come from within the individual. In this way, the individual vibratory rate will be increased. An offering of proof or an impressing of this truth upon an individual in such a way that he would be forced to accept it would have no usable effect upon his vibratory rate. This, then, my friends, is the mystery of our way of approaching your peoples. Another concept that has come out of the many communications from alleged UFO entities is that of wanderers. They are usually service-oriented people, and, as would be predictable, they often have a great deal of difficulty fitting into the planetary vibrations of Earth. Often they have the feeling that they do not fit in or do not belong, but at the same time, very often, these people are possessed of many gifts, in the arts, in teaching, or in the simple sharing of a cheerful and happy vibration, which certainly does not suggest the normal attitude of a simple malcontent. This concept is particularly interesting to many people who will be drawn to the RA material because, according to that material, much of it will be most easily recognized as being useful by wanderers. There are not just a few wanderers on Earth today. RA suggests a figure of approximately 65 million. They have left other densities in harmonious environments to take on a kind of job that is most difficult and dangerous, for if a wanderer cannot at least begin to pierce the forgetting process that occurs at birth into this density during his or her lifetime on planet Earth, and remember the love and the light that the person was intended to share, the wanderer can conceivably become caught in the third density illusion, collecting what may loosely be termed as karma, and be delayed in arriving again at the home planet until all that is unbalanced in third density in this lifetime has been balanced. When Don Elkins and I wrote Secrets of the UFO in 1976, we devoted a chapter to the concept of wanderers and used material gathered in hypnotic regressions of 3 women who were friends in this lifetime and who, when separately regressed, gave independent and dovetailing stories of their lives on another planet. After that book went to press, we were able to work with a man whom the women had named as being a part of that experience on another planet. This man was then a student working towards his master's degree in chemical engineering, was aware of no detail of our research except that we were involved in doing some hypnosis. On May 10, 1975, Don, along with Lawrence Allison, an accomplished hypnotist with whom we had worked often when he lived in Louisville, sat down with our 4th volunteer and proceeded to explore that other world for a 4th time. The information was especially interesting, since all 3 previous regressions had been poetic and beautiful, but scarcely technical. Our 4th subject had a far different background and was able to see things in a far more accurate and explicit manner. This 4th regression fitted perfectly into the story told by the first 3 subjects. One of the first things that Don and Larry, the questioning went back and forth, asked about was the clothing. Q. How are you dressed? A. In white. Q. White what? Loose white clothes. Q. Okay. What's above the waist now? Above the pants? Well, it's just like a robe. It's not really a robe, but a loose clothing with a sash, like for a belt. Q. And what about on the shoulders? A. Well, it's just short-sleeved. It's warm. This type of robe suggests a monastic or religious order, and questions were asked to attempt to discover some orthodox religious connection on this planet. No connection was found, so the questioners moved on to the name of this other world since the surroundings were not those of Earth, but the young man, normally incisive in his answers, seemed totally unaware of the concept of naming. Q. The name of your planet? It's just we live there, and I don't see any mountains, but I see the name. 2. A. I have a child. Q. One child? A. Yeah. Little boy. Q. His name is? A. I just don't have a feeling for names. I have, like, when you want somebody, and they know when you want them, sort of. I mean, I just don't have a feeling for names. Not only did their planet seem to lack a proper name, but speech itself seemed to be a far different process, one which we would probably call telepathy. Q. All right, if someone calls to you, what do they call you? A. I just haven't heard anybody speak. I don't know if you have to speak.